444-8888.
So Jamie Brenamen is here this morning with Chattanooga Exteriors. Good to see you.
Good to have me.
Very often when you were here, we focused on kind of one thing. Last time I think it was decks and the railings that go along with it. Your options there. You're kind of taking a holistic approach though this morning, Jamie, because you want people to approach it the right way with their money and not spend their money in the wrong order. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's a lot of times we go out and to the initial consultation and we see that they maybe have done something out of order. And so like one that we common see is that people get gutters with gutter protection, and then now they want to do their siding and their fascia, and it's like, well, all these gutters have to come off, and they usually get damaged in that process, and so you end up spending money to take them off and put them back up.
You're spending money twice, so to speak.
Yeah, and so the same thing with like windows and doors is like, don't do your siding before you do your windows and doors. I know that everybody, you know, it's a big financial undertaking to do all these things at one time. So you can do them in phases. So I've done it where, hey, we'll tackle the front of the house and we'll say, hey, we're going to do all the windows and doors and siding on the front of the house. And then we're going to move to the left side of the house, so the right side of the house. And so we can do this, or if you have a problem area or a problem section, we can do those things. So it's really just looking at things and saying, hey, let's slow down. Let's put a plan in place, and then let's figure out what that plan cost us. And then, and then how are we going to, we got to figure out how we're going to pay for it. So we have financing available. We have plans from 12 months, no interest, no payments, to up to 12-year plans.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And so we have those, and we have local lenders. We have credit unions and different things that we have partnerships with that help kind of guide. We kind of guide people through that process and kind of figure out, okay, hey, this is what you need to do. This is the best way to go about this. And then put that plan in place and then execute that plan.
So I want to get into kind of your idea of the right order, but I love that you're talking about the honest conversation that can happen, because you know right up front that this is a big investment that people are making, and they have the right to say, that's over budget.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where we start at, is kind of like, oh, okay, what are your wants and needs? Everybody wants everything. I mean, we all want the magazine cover.
Yeah,
we all want the magazine cover. We all want the HGTV, dream house and all this other stuff.
Right.
But we have to be, realistic and say, okay, what can I afford?
Right.
You don't want to be, overspend and get all this elaborate stuff. We can do. I've seen people, same house cost double the amount just because somebody said, hey, I want all these options that are really nice, but we can really do something really basic and stick within a budget, and it really gets them what they want.
So educate me a little bit, because I know you wanted to focus on the windows and why you want to do windows early.
Yeah, so you want to do windows before you do siding, and if it's best to do windows with siding. So you can get the proper drainage plane, so like you can get them airtight, you can get them watertight, and really get the best seal for your house.
Okay.
And so with a replacement window where you're just taking an old window out and putting a new window in, that's not the best way to do it. You can do it that way, but this way where you have a nailing flange, you can tape, you can do everything that you need to do, like if you were building a new home. That's the best way to do it, is put the windows in first, then put your siding on.
Let's talk about the idea of building a new home. Because if you're building a new home, you're probably going to say, let's just spend the money and do it right. Spend it the right way once, then the wrong way multiple times.
Yes.
Same philosophy applies here, right? The material matters.
Yeah, I've seen people that have, maybe 5 years ago, they were like, hey, we're not going to go with a composite deck. We're going to go with a wood deck to save money. And then now they call me back and say, hey, Jamie, you were right. I should have spent the money. We we should have financed or figured out a way to, or a HELOC, or there's a number of different ways to get money for home improvements. And so it's just looking at it from a standpoint of like, okay, what is a smart investment, and am I going to be here in this house? Because we all think, well, I have people that I've often talked to where they say, I'm only going to be here 5 years.
And they're there longer.
And then 10 years later, they call me and said, hey, we're staying here for good.
So let me ask you this one. You obviously can't play financial investor for people. I get that.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of different people come through the showroom who have their own different approaches to this. Like I would be afraid to tackle a section and then the next year tackle another section, because what life event could happen to prevent me from it?
Yeah.
So do you hear people talking sometimes, thinking out loud with you, and you'll toss out suggestions for them to consider?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do, is we put together this grand plan of like how to do, or it can be just a simple deck. And it's like, okay, we need a plan for this. Or we need to, and some people say, we're going to do it right now.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it in sections. We're going to finance it, and that's probably the best way to do it.
Rates are going down.
Yeah. Is to finance it and get it done, and because what I've seen, and this is the worst part, is like, okay, we've got water, we've got damaged siding here, and it's 2025, and then you don't do anything with that, and it's not going to get any better.
Right.
And so you call me out 2 years later when you can afford it. Well, now prices have gone up, and then now that rot is now damaged the floor system inside your house.
Right.
And now we've got, you've got this job now costs $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is just, and then some people just get so overwhelmed with that, then they're just like,
put the house on the market.
Let's bulldoze it.
I have to wrap it up. And I know typically we talk the product, but this time we talked more kind of the philosophy behind it, because he does recognize that it's a big investment. He loves those transformations. I love watching them, and you'd love having one, but it does all begin with an honest conversation about what you want and what you can have.
Yes.
ChattanoogaExteriors.com is the place to start, 423-805-3800.
Your mornings are busy. At Local 3 News Today, we know that. Breaking news, traffic, and the big news of the coming day. Forecasts you can trust for every part of your day. What you want to know on your time every morning.
When you're injured, everything changes. Your